I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain. It's been quite a while since we last spoke.
Oh, it's been a while, definitely.
So basically, tonight I would just like to find out what October Changes has been up to, about the new
Quite a lot,
album.
actually. Quite a lot, actually. So we were very hard working when it comes to the album. We worked a lot on the album to try to improve it in comparison with our EP Synthetic Authentic. So we definitely wanted to dive more into the electro melodic part of our music, and some songs took a little bit more time than other songs. But ultimately, I think it's a really cool album with very, I don't like the word because it's been used so badly nowadays, but it's a very diverse album with very diverse songs. And yeah, I'm just very excited to show the world.
Um, the song Jasmine, when I first heard the intro, yeah, took me by surprise to say the least.
Okay, color me intrigued. Why? I wonder. You tell me.
Well, it's just like this little ding, 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 ding. And I'm going, and now? Is this right? And then the band comes in and you can recognize what it is. But it had me fooled for the first 15, 20 seconds.
Okay, interesting.
And
Well, I mean, I think it's good that it took you by surprise. Was kind of the point.
mm, um, how's it been going? I see you've been doing quite a lot of shows. And what have you got lined up for the future?
Well, obviously, I cannot say some things because we have our hardworking manager there who is arranging things in the background and behind the scenes. But we're obviously going to have our album release show on the 1st of May. And then afterwards, we're going to have a couple of other shows regarding to spread our album and spread our music a little bit more. But so far, we did get some some dates when it comes to like performances.
You've released two songs, Jasmine and Haven. Are you going to release another one before the album release?
Absolutely. We are going to release four singles in total. So we already released Jasmine, then now Haven, and in a couple of days, you're going to hear the third one. And then last but not least, we're also going to release a fourth one. And the reason behind that is because we were sitting quietly quite some time and we wanted to let people know like, hey, we're still working hard and we're still existing as a band and we have some cool songs for you. So that's why we planned this year, beginning of this year, as every single month we're going to release up until our release show.
So, when is the next one going to be released? What day? Will it be Monday?
So the next is going to be pretty soon in these upcoming days. I don't want to say, but it's going to be released very soon, and then afterwards, it's going to be released in April. Yeah,
Okay. So, we're not going to make Monday night show with that one. All right. Okay. I can just try.
I cannot tell. I cannot tell. We might or we might not. Who knows? If I told you all the answers, it would not be interesting anymore. But
Well,
it's all
that's
planned
also true.
in.
That's also true, I suppose. I did see a post on your Facebook, I think it was today, that you're looking for a bassist.
Mhm. Yeah, that's correct. It's been for a while. We received a lot of positive feedback when it comes to our music, and but it all boiled down most of the time to um, your music is so awesome, and you guys have a great stage performance and a great energy on stage. But where's the bass player? And so it's not as easy as people might think. It's not just like, oh, here I'm gonna put on an advertisement into the world. Although we do have an advertisement now, we have a Google form which people can fill in if they feel like they would be suitable and they would be fitting for October changes. But it's not that easy to
Mm.
find someone who genuinely fits into the band. And for us, that's very, very important because we ourselves had to really work hard with each other in order to create this work together, this work environment, this small group of people who make music. It's not that easy. And we definitely want to take our time to find someone who can fit very well
Yeah.
into that
And
formation.
especially since you haven't had a bass player before, you've got a group dynamic, a band dynamic, and that's very important. You get the
Exactly.
right person. They might,
Yes, that's
in
also what
fact,
I mean.
yeah. In fact, they might not be the
Yeah,
best bass player, but they might be the best person for the band.
that's very true. That's very true. A lot of times it's much rather he's a great guy,
Yeah.
but he has still to improve versus he's an amazing bass player but an absolute asshole. And I have experienced that before, unfortunately, when very high skill musicians are not the most social.
No,
And that's very
and
unfortunate.
yeah, and also they have their own opinions and start saying, well, why don't we do it like this and that? And it starts crossing the line of the band dynamics almost.
I think that's always welcome of hey, why don't we do it like this? Because that's how
Mm,
October Changes also operates. We find it very important. Although we did have a talk about this. So here's the thing: like obviously, you have to be satisfied and have to be happy with the product you're delivering to the world. However, sometimes that can go into nitpicking and
mm,
being very much lost in the details. And especially in our band, we are trying to do things in a very perfectionist way. So we really have to sit down and have a talk with each other. Like, okay, so we're really going to focus on who has what as a role. What is your job within the band? Somebody does the socials, somebody does the cover art, somebody does those kind of things. Instead of being involved with every single thing that we put out there, that everybody is involved, that causes chaos and delay, especially when you try to be on schedule. So definitely, I agree with you. Although I do have to say, it's always welcome if somebody has a
mm.
personal input. Like, I think it would be better this way. I think it's very important to hear them out. But it's very true. You need boundaries, and you need to tell in advance, like, okay, but this is how we're going to do it, and we're not going to be lost in the details.
And then also, especially, the bass player and the drummer have to mesh together really well.
That's true, but I'm definitely not afraid of that because I think we have a very good group dynamic, and especially with Wesley, he's also very mm, how should I say, very flexible in many, many ways. And he is definitely someone who is always like, okay, let's sit down and let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do in order to make this work. So I'm definitely not afraid of that. I think it's going to be, once we find the right person who can strengthen October Changes, I think it's going to be fine.
And hopefully it'll be a female bass player.
I said what you would like to have.
Hey?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I have a very weak spot for female bass players. I think it's very badass.
Well, there's a lot
I
of
think
them.
it's extremely badass.
There's a lot of good bass players around, female bass players around. So,
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. Absolutely. I think it's yeah, I think it's very cool because um the bass is also a support instrument.
mm,
So when you combine that with this feminine person or this female personality with that supporting instrument of a bass, I think it's a very interesting combination. And that's why female bass players also have a way different energy on stage and in the music than male bass players. I think it's very interesting.
I've never thought about it that way. I need to look at that. I mean, the male
I think
bass
you should.
players like generally just stand there and hammer out the bass line. The
That's
female,
true.
I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud, and the female ones seem a bit more dynamic. Is that right? I
Yes,
don't know.
and more also more aware. Like last time, a couple of weeks ago, because I'm also a vocal coach myself, I went to an open day with one of my students because she would like to try a music school and she would like to apply as a singer. And I was like, okay, let's go. And there was a jam session with a band that's made from those students who studied there. And there was a female bass player, and she was like, okay, this key, all right, let's go. And it's such an interesting energy that brings into the music that there's a difference. There's
Mm,
definitely a difference. I what I see and experienced, it's not like on stage they're more dynamic, but more
mm,
as in and more energy wise. Like if this is again just my experience. When I see a male bass player, um, it's like the steady rock, just like the drum. They are there and they support. But when a female bass player is there, there's some extra spice in it. And I very interesting that I do have also female bass players as students who learn how to sing in my classes. So and they always have this little spice to them. They this I cannot really put my finger on it, but it's definitely a different energy, and it's a good
mm.
energy. Both cases are good, in my opinion. There's no such thing as, oh, a female bass player is better than a male bass player. That's not it. They're just different, but that's what makes it special, in my opinion. That's what makes it interesting, and not to see like videos like YouTube short about that. I got a call. If you see like YouTube shorts, and you see female bass players just finger tapping, crazy work. I don't know what it does to me, but it's so intriguing, so amazing to see because it's such a different energy, and I can't really explain it why.
Yeah, there's a Japanese band called Band Made.
I love them. I saw them live.
Really?
Yes, I did.
And that bass player, she is just crazy.
She's a monster, but in a good way. She's
Yes,
a
no.
fantastic bass player. She's an absolute beast. And that's what I mean. It's a different kind of energy than when there's a male bass player. And again, once again, both are great, but
Mm.
there is a significant difference. And I think that's what adds the spice to a band or to Japanese female bass players are
Insane.
next level, next level. Next level. Shout out to the ladies because I love them.
I mean, there's that other one, Love Bites as well. I mean, I don't know if you've listened to them or watched them. I mean, their lead
Love
guitars,
Bites.
yeah.
I saw them live as well.
Oh no, man. I'm
They
going to
are.
end this now because you're making me.
Sorry.
I'm not going to say. All right, let's change the subject. It would be. It would be great now, trying to get serious again, if you got a bass player who could harmonize with you.
That would be very interesting. It's not again once again, it's not that easy. Just like with hiring a bass player, it's not that easy to find that musical connection with
Mm,
someone
mm,
because I was always very mm, I was always driven by this musical instinct. So I did learn music theory, but I did notice that it stopped at a certain point for me to theoretically think about music because ever since I was a child, I always did it very instinctively. So harmonize or create vocal lines or vocal harmonies, that was all very instinctive to me. And to find the same kind of musician, that's very, very difficult. It's not impossible, but that's certainly, I feel like people need to feel music more than just, okay, which key you're in, which is
mm.
it a major, is it a major or a minor? Some people are very stuck to that, and that's fine, but that's definitely not what works for me or to our band. One thing I really love about October Changes is I can just hum the melody and the guys are going to be like, okay, we love this sketch. Are you going to work on it? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, I just thought about it at 2 a.m. What do you want from me? And like a month later, they would be like, yeah, so if you want, you just sit down, just listen to what we created. And they create an entire little planet around this vocal snippet. And they're like, so what do you think? And I'm like, I'm just overwhelmed that you just created this around the song. Now I actually have to do something with it.
And now you've got to do the
So it's,
lyrics as well.
oh God, yeah. I do love writing lyrics though. I really do. Um, before before time, before I was part of October Changes, there were some projects and some bands that wanted me to jump in, help them out, and I love to do that. It keeps me on my toes and it keeps me sharp in adjusting and whatnot. So I like that. But they asked me like, yeah, do you mind working with given lyrics? And I told them, and I still do, it's still my opinion, it never changed. It's somebody else's message. So, sure, if it's a temporary thing and I need to jump in to save the day when it comes to vocals and just help you out with a gig, I'm more than happy to do so. But permanently, no, because that's someone else's message. It's someone else's piece of mind, a snippet of their mind, a snippet of their soul, I will never be able to recreate that, what they felt in that moment when they wrote that lyrics. And so that's exactly how I treat my lyrics, is those are little snippets, little parts of my being, my soul, the way how I see things, how I experience things. Some songs are very personal to me. One of them is we played it live, and people will finally able to listen to it. Is Freak. That is a very, if you're just listening to it, it's like super cheerful. It's a bop, right? But if you read the lyrics, it's a very dark lyrics, and it's due to something, was written due to something I experienced, I went through. So I'm more than happy to help bands, and I'm more than happy to think about it more like a cover. But to work with a band that has existing lyrics, or that somebody writes it for me, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but no, I am not good at that. I'm not just going to be a voice, especially in this time and age when we can just create songs with AI, which I'm not a fan of. But I don't just want to be reduced into a voice. I don't want to be. I am a singer, a vocalist, a front woman, and that's my job, to deliver a message. But that's why I always write my own lyrics. And I can get suggestions and tips and whatnot, or inspiration. That's fine, but that's not taking my job away.
Interesting when you brought up AI, because what I've been doing this whole year, and I started this last year, was asking bands what they thought about AI and where it's going to end up. I've had a very common.
Is this a question you're also asking me?
I've had a very common thread through all of it. And yeah, I don't, yeah, let me not influence. What are your honest feelings about AI? And do you think it could be used by musicians? Or is it a total no-no?
So I'm going to say this much. I'm not, obviously, in order to remain professional too, I'm not going to put out dirty laundry, but it has slithered its way into our band as well, to the point that we did have some conversations, and some conversations were quite heated, because a lot of people see AI as cost efficient, time efficient. And that unfortunately does lead a lot of people. So here's my honest opinion. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, because I love this topic. I really do. And I do love having conversations, but I also know that you have limited time. I think AI is a fascinating tool to help people in daily things, to help people in functionalities, to help people with tasks that are not easy to do, or that can make people's life easier. I am a full stander and supporter for AI or computer science helping disabled people. I'm a full supporter of AI helping with schedules, helping making Excel sheets, helping, these very dry and boring tasks that are taking our times out of the day. So these efficiency tasks, I'm fully supportive of. What I'm not supportive of is taking the essence away of humans. And art is something that exists because of human essence. Every single art piece, every single music, every single song, everything that was created because of human connections, communities, um, how people started singing, how people started drumming on anything, piece of wood or with a rock or with a um, little equipments that we later on called instruments. That is part of the human existence. And I think there's no space for AI in fields where humans create, because they are driven by their experiences as a human. So that was also my opinion towards my band members, and I was a very strong voice in the band to also promote our music, especially in this age of AI. Is our music is not fueled by AI. Our designs are not fueled by AI. They are all man-made from humans to humans. We write about AI, but not with AI. And I'm a very proud artist because I also draw. I also sing, but I also draw. I'm a very proud supporter of human artists and not machines, because the machine can recreate something, but there's no essence behind it. It learned what to say. It learned which words or which melody it's supposed to use, but it will never learn what's behind it. You know?
No, you're 100% correct. And it's basically what everyone is saying. You don't have the essence or the soul. You don't have the imperfections that only humans can create. And an imperfection can actually be a great thing. Like a little crack in the voice, a little buzz on the fretboard,
Mm-hmm.
a missed drum beat, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's those imperfections that I believe make music. And you don't, with AI, forget it. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I got approached by a radio station who shall be renamed nameless. And they said, no, they're starting a new radio station, but they're only going to play AI music. Would I like to host the show? And they'll pay me for it. And I said 2 words, of which the second word was off. And they said,
I knew it. I knew
it. And I said, okay, here's why. I'm having a tough enough time helping to promote real artists. What on earth do I want to start promoting computer generated, regurgitated plastic stuff? And I said, how do I interview an AI musician? How do I interact with them at a show?
Exactly.
It's all
And
throwaway.
the thing is what's extremely scary to me, and I think about this quite a lot. So one of I could say my all-time favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid for many, many reasons. And every time when this whole AI thing started coming in, I had one scene and one scene only in front of my eyes. And that was the moment when Ariel's voice gets locked into this little shell, which Ursula starts wearing. That container is where her essence is. And to me, until this day, one of the biggest fears is my voice being stolen for whatever reason. We can take this in a symbolic way if somebody steals it for AI, right? But we can also say, like, one of my biggest fear is if something happens to my throat. every time if something happens, it's like an instinct to me to cover my throat because my voice is my everything to me. And it's I feel like there are very few things in the world that are scarier now than that somebody steals your essence, that somebody steals that essence from you. And I think that's extremely scary. And you mentioned, how are you going to interview an AI artist? Well, clearly you cannot, because that's the whole thing. The machine learns, but it cannot think for itself. It cannot feel for itself. And you mentioned the voice crack or the little error in the recording. What I think of right now is when the singer of Korn, he had a full blown panic attack while recording a song in the recording studio, and they kept it on the recording. And that's why it's so powerful, that song, because despite his absolute pain, and I feel so sorry for him because I can feel, I can never understand, but I can feel his pain. That moment or that reminder of being alive, you will never get from a computer. You can't. You just can't. And another thing that is really sad to me is that now companies make millions of dollars on fake AI artists. There was like a top 10 chart on Spotify a while ago, and all 10 artists were AI generated. And I'm like, but we give $0.002 to real artists for for people to listen to their songs. And I'm like, what is this madness? Where are we going right now? So I had this talk with a couple of students of mine, and right now you can't live from music. You just simply cannot, because the economy just doesn't allow you to, unless you sell your soul, you become one of these great pop stars, and God knows what happens behind the scenes with you that destroys your soul, but you get millions of dollars. So what is the task right now? It's self-expression. It's reminding people that, again, what I mentioned before, that our music is made from humans to humans. They are human experiences, human feelings, and to remind people that, you know, no amount of computers can take this away from you. And there are musicians and artists out there who feel you, who feel the same, and can put it on a canvas or put it on a music sheet, what you actually feel, and can make you feel human and remind you that you're human. I think that's right now the whole point of art in this day and age. Because the world is burning. Let's be honest. The world is completely on fire. So I might as well just make my little song and be happy that I have 10 people who can resonate with it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I used to work with Ken Hensley from Uriah Heep, and he always said, if I can just touch one person with my lyrics and my song, then I know my job is done.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's that simple, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
he said he suddenly got a letter from some guy who was in jail in the United States. And he got this letter, and it said basically, you saved my life with your song. the lyrics just inspired, and the guy came right and saw the lights and became a good person again because of that song. And anyway,
100%.
yeah, the AI debate. Me personally, I think it's going to be like a lot of technology. There's a lot of hype about it now, and then it'll just disappear into the background.
I've heard that. I've heard about it because it's also very great that people boycott it for many reasons, for for nature, for the water, because these plants, I call them power plants at this point, because these are major, ginormous warehouse sized places where they try to cool these goddamn computers off with drinking water. Who thought of that? Who made that up? Yeah, let's waste our water supplies, drinking water supplies, not even seawater, because they cannot do anything with it. Let's waste that on computers. My goodness. Anyway, so I hear that what you mentioned, that people will just get sick of it, and I feel the same, but a little bit differently than you. I think people will just get so much crap thrown into their face, like these AI generated videos, AI generated pictures. People will not know, people already don't know what is real and what is fake, to the point that they will just get sick of it and they will seek out what's real. They will seek out human artists again, and they will seek out human singers and human musicians, because that's real. I think that's the way they're going to get sick of it. They're just going to get tired of everything being fake.
No, absolutely. I mean, classic example. When was it? Friday afternoon. Some friends of mine, their little duo, they were playing at some coffee shop, pub type place. And we said, let's pull in, let's go and see them, And great, because, and that's where I go back to, you can interact with the people, and they interact
100%.
with you. And what are you going to do? If you've got all these AI artists, what are you going to look at your computer screen for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it's also very very scary, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's I think it's a very very fun turn that I'm connecting this to this topic. So obviously, as I mentioned, we are creating, we do write about computers and stuff like that. That's what Lost Utopia is, pretty much. It was inspired by this game called Cyberpunk, where people can upgrade themselves, but if they upgrade themselves, there comes a point when their biological parts, like the cells, the bones, the bone structure, the blood cells, nothing will be able to tolerate that amount of mechanics anymore. Like the organic parts will not be able to be combined with these mechanical parts. And there's also a series for Cyberpunk, and that's what inspired Lost Utopia, that there comes a point where you upgrade yourself to be better, stronger, faster, to the point, are you human yet? Are you still human? If you keep upgrading yourself. And I know, it's super deep. I love deep conversations. You're more than welcome.
But you know what I've just realized? One of your hooks in that song is upgrade complete.
Upgrade done. Yes.
Yeah, upgrade done. And I'm doing, what's all that about?
You have to read the lyrics to understand. And now you said, like, oh, people are going to interact with the AI artist. They already do. they already do that through ChatGPT.
Mm,
There is now a study. No. It's actually a thing. There's now a study about how bad it's becoming because people use ChatGPT as their therapist. They use them for social interactions, and which makes people be even more antisocial because ChatGPT enables them in their bad behavior, enables them in being antisocial, enables them in cutting ties with certain human connections. And there is a song for in our album, and that is with this parasocial relationships, how people write themselves into this very parasocial mindset of if I do this one more, if I do this and then do this, I will bring you closer. But it's not happening. It's not how humans work. So I think it's I think our songs are just really cool because they give a little jab of, it can go this way. So might as well just watch out. It can go
oh,
up
goodness.
and real fast.
All right. I think we're going to have to cut it short now because we could be here all night.
I'm always up for a good conversation. You know that.
Yeah. But I've got stuff to do as well. But maybe we should have another meeting on this one because.
Maybe we should have a podcast episode. How about that? Just an hour, just talking about these things because these are very interesting and they're very relatable.
Yeah. Because what I wanted to do is get everyone's opinions. And then I wanted to actually create like a little documentary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Say,
Mm-hmm.
these are the real people I've been speaking to, and this is what they actually say, and this is what they feel. It's not me talking, voicing my opinion. Here's what everyone else is saying.
I think
So,
that's an excellent idea, and I think you really should do it.
yeah.
Because I think, especially in this day and age, people do need it. And there are people out there who do try to seek like minded people who think the same, who think, well, this is going too fast for me. I do not want to upgrade my life to be better, stronger, faster. I want to remain myself and I want to remain liking the things I do, which are more real than what we see online and we see being hyped up all the way. So I think you definitely should. I think documentaries or podcasts like that, they do give people a little bit of peace of mind. I think it's very important.
Yeah. I mean, what you're also saying is, and look, since day one, people have been materialistic and they always want to have this and that. And like, oh, he's bought this car, so I've got to buy a better car. And I've got this big house. And I'm completely the opposite, you know? Like, it's the same with the phone. People say, why have you got that phone? You know, why haven't you got an iPhone? I said, because most of the time my phone's on silent. I use it for WhatsApp, and occasionally I'll take a picture.
And that's it. Exactly.
And that's it.
Exactly.
So why do I have to spend all this money on a fancy phone so that if I'm sitting at a coffee shop, people can say, oh, you've got the iPhone 17. Doesn't turn me on, you know.
And when you genuinely go to the phone shop and you actually ask them like, hey, so what's the difference between this series and that series? They literally tell you nothing. Not in specs, not in camera, literally nothing. This is an actual experience of mine, and I was like, that's I often say this, and it often makes people just, what I like to do with people? is make them stop for a second, whether it's like a little bit of a setback, and I see the little buffer sign, like on YouTube, because I made them think, and I think that's so awesome if you can make someone think for a second for themselves. Because I often say it to people, no matter what conversation or what situation is, I often say, not everything needs fixing that works. And then people look at me like, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, good. Now take this home with you. Take this home. Take it and let it sprout. Let it grow. Because you might not actually buy something the next time you think you should. Or fix something. Or buy something instead of fixing.
Absolutely. I mean, like me again, like it's the wife and myself, and we both work from home. And I was spending more money on buying new car batteries for my fancy car because I never used it. So I sold it. Now in South Africa, if you haven't got two cars, you're socially you're frowned upon.
Okay, interesting.
I don't own a
Very
car.
interesting.
You know, and they say, "What do you mean you don't own a car?" I said, "I don't. I've got a motorbike and I've got a scooter, and that's fine. If I need a car, I'll use my wife's car." And
you're the outcast.
People cannot understand it.
They cannot comprehend it. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I get that. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So, but that's society. Society has put these rules in place. You must have this. You have to have this. You know, and like, why? It was the same
yes,
when
but it's not entirely from society. It's from the corporate. So it's the corporate that forms. It was the same thing with drink a lot of dairy. Good for your bones. And then later on we realized, oh shit, actually too much calcium can eat up the bones. So it's not that good, cheap. So it's most of the time it is driven by corporate greed that rights over some societal rules or habits or whatnot. So, but that's the thing. That's why it's so important to think critically and just stop for a moment. Let that buffer go on.
Stop, think was something
stop
that was,
and think.
Yeah. That was
exactly
years ago when I was still a hooligan and I ended up in rehab for drinking and alcoholism. That was one of the first things they taught us. Stop, think, continue. Those three words can change a life.
100%. 100%.
So,
another thing is, which is pretty much the same, is I think I watched this video of a monk, and he said, if you ever feel stressed, just imagine that the future and the past does not exist. What do you have as leftover? And I tried it because I had anxiety disorder for many, many years. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had problems for a long time. But when I was anxious while watching this video, hilarious, right? It's like so on spot. So I was anxious and I was watching the video and I just imagined that somebody just literally erased future and past and you're in the present. And in that moment, I felt like just everything evaporating. And I was like, this is like witchcraft. Because they literally do not exist. What do you have as leftover? The present. So there's nothing, right? You become present again. It's crazy. But these small things can help someone so much. And it can help if you put it into art. Because art is also about a present moment. When you listen to a song or you look at a painting, you let that art piece get in for that moment. And maybe it's not for you. That's fine. That's totally fine. But you stop and you let it in. And I think that's why human art is always going to be super. Because it
Well,
lets people in for a second.
yeah, I mean, it's a proven scientific fact that music, like I did this for a joke. Well, someone told me about it. I was at yoga and somebody told me about it, is that what you do is you think of a memory in your past as a child. You always take a happy memory for obvious reasons. And then you remember that point, and then you'll slowly start remembering more and more about that point in time. And then what happens is all your synapses start firing, and you'll start remembering other things.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll start bringing back memories that you'd completely forgotten about, but they're actually still
Very
there.
true. They're
It's
sleeping.
the most fascinating thing
They're
to
sleeping.
do. And then I said, okay,
yeah, it is.
I've got like some stuff on my phone, and I've categorized it when I was 10 years old, songs when I was 10 years old, songs, like when I was 15 or something like that. And you listen to them, and those songs will always take you back to that memory.
Very true.
That is so powerful. That is really powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So
and that's all because of your essence too. That's all because of that essence connected with your essence in that moment. And that's why that song is always so nostalgic and so important to you and precious to you because of that essence that it's connected to.
Yeah,
and no amount of AI music can recreate the same. It's never gonna work.
Yeah. I mean, I get so many submissions, and it's like I'm starting to get people sending me AI stuff. And I'm going, I actually want to just have an auto reply for that, which is just F off.
I was about to say, like, maybe you should just have like a filter. I'm not sure how it's possible to make a filter for that, but
no, it's
maybe
not.
you should have like a filter.
It's not. The quickest way to spot.
Just hire someone 24/7 who will filter it.
I'll get AI to filter itself.
Exactly. That's a functional thing. That's fine. That's what AI is for.
Exactly. Cool, Lhana. I really need to go. It's been so nice chatting to you. And we must chat again when your album is released.
Absolutely, we should.
Yeah, I'm taking a 2-week break because I'm going back to Germany over Easter to visit family. And
I hope you have a wonderful Easter then.
Anyway, next time when you're playing in Germany, I hope I'm in Germany, and then I will come and meet you guys in person.
That would be amazing. We definitely do have to take a picture.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. There were no pop quizzes.
Thank you too.
I was going to get another pop quiz for you, but I thought better not.
Hey, if not a pop quiz, I'm always open for these lovely conversations.
Okay.
I love to discuss them.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Take care.
All right. You too. Go well.
Bye-bye.